What's good, people? Welcome to another episode of the Undiluted Football Show. I am your host, Toni Afoke. If you've been watching us through the past couple of episodes, don't know what happened there, but you can see what's been going on in the week of football. You already know what it is. We're going to get straight into it. And what a week of football we had. We had the semi-final second leg of both the Europa League and Champions League. But first and foremost, we're going to start with the Champions League. Dare I say it, as a United fan, it hurts me to say it, but Manchester City have finally reached their first Champions League final. It was a really good performance, but it was comfortable by City, to say the least. I thought PSG with no Mbappe wasn't going to do much. Mbappe he didn't even play. He was clearly injured. The fact that he was named on the bench was just to fill in the space. Icardi wasn't fully fit. I feel like it was really poor from PSG's side of things. For City, it looks quite comfortable. I felt like this was out of all the semi-finals Pep has been in, or the quarterfinals that he's been in. I feel like this Champions League tie was a fairly easy one. I thought PSG would do something else, but I've seen, as I said, I saw Man United deal with PSG at the start of this season at the Parc des Princes, and then even though we lost at Old Trafford, we should have won the game. So I don't really expect much from this PSG side. So big up to City, and Mahrez stepped up once again, coming in clutch. One thing I know about Riyad Mahrez is that guy is clutch. I saw him score free kick against Nigeria in the African Cup of Nations semi-final. It was clutch, man. And one thing I know about that Riyad Mahrez guy is he comes up in big moments. And right now it looks like he's taken Sterling's place in the team. So we expect him to start at the final. Who would have thought that Mahrez and Sterling would have swapped places? If you told me that a year ago, I would have been like, oh, that's crazy. But big ups to City, though. They have Chelsea in the final, but we'll get on to Chelsea in a bit later on in the show. Speaking on PSG, though, I think I want to quickly touch on PSG because for people that know me, is that one, I don't like Poch. No, it's not I don't like Poch. It's just that I don't think he's as good as everyone thinks because he hasn't won anything. And at the end of the day, you have to measure success by winning trophies, and that's just how life works. I thought it was poor. I said in the first leg, PSG, it was kind of Spursy performance by PSG. Like you're 1-0 up and then you just capitulate in the second half. Typical Spursy, you can take the guy at Spurs, but you can't take Spurs out of the guy with Pochettino. And I feel like he needs to be really careful, Poch, because he's still behind in Liga. They're still not first. And if Poch doesn't win Liga is the bare minimum for PSG. If PSG do not win Liga, I think Poch could get sacked in the summer because PSG don't mind sacking. We saw with Tuchel. Tuchel got, for people that don't remember, Tuchel got sacked this season. He got sacked. Fair enough, I know PSG weren't doing well, but it was still well within the Champions League. He literally got them to a Champions League final last season, but Tuchel got sacked. So PSG are kind of like that Abramovich team where the owners, they don't play. So the fact that Pochettino might not win League On, that's a bare minimum. Don't be surprised if we see Pochettino being sacked. I wouldn't be surprised because at the end of the day, that's not good enough. They have way more money than every other team in the French league, and you can't even win the league. I know PSG's main goal is the Champions League, and they got to a final last season, and they wanted to get back to a final. But the bare minimum for PSG is the league. And if you cannot win the league with PSG, I don't expect you to be PSG manager next season. We shall see, though. The league isn't finished yet, and Lille is still first. But as I said, if Poch doesn't make it, if Poch doesn't win that league somehow, don't expect him to be in the PSG job next season. But going on to that other semi-final, disappointing result by Real Madrid. Chelsea won 2-0 at Stamford Bridge to reach another semi-final. Now, I've got to give Chelsea props here because to sack Lampard was like shooting Bambi, right? And we all knew he kind of had to go on questioning Lampard. But to sack Lampard, bring in Tuchel and reach Champions League final, that shows that those are serious owners right there, unlike some other owners who I won't mention, but, those are some serious owners right there. And you can tell that Chelsea, they have a good model going on right now. And I dare I say it, I always said I was always skeptical of Tuchel, which I'm not skeptical anymore because he's proven me wrong. He's reached a Champions League final. But I still don't. The thing with Tuchel is that he's made Chelsea very hard to beat. Chelsea are a very hard team to beat. They've only lost one under Tuchel, and that was two. They lost in the Champions League, but they were already through. So it didn't really matter. And then they lost to West Brom as well. And you see Tuchel has made this side very, very good. Very good. They don't score as many goals as they want, and Timo Werner's still missing chances. However, the team's hard to beat. And I've said it, for you to do well in any league or any competition, you just got to make yourself hard to beat. You can play good football. You can play the nicest football you ever won, but nice football doesn't always bring results. Making yourself hard to beat and getting a goal, that's where the results are at. And right now, Chelsea and Tuchel are getting the results. So I've got to give my props to both Man City and Chelsea, really. An all English Champions League final. If I had to give a prediction now, I feel like Chelsea might edge it. I feel like there's going to be a massive tactical battle, and I know we had the little dress rehearsal yesterday with Chelsea and City, and when City could have won the title and they messed up. But I don't know. Well, let's quickly talk about that. Obviously, Aguero, it was stupid what he done with the pen. Like, there was no need for a Panenka. Like, it looks good if you score it, but if you don't, you look like an idiot, right? So there was no need for him to do the Panenka, but it is what it is. In regards to this game, it's crazy that Chelsea somehow found a result. Somehow. And again, Tuchel makes them hard to beat. I know that was just a little dress rehearsal. Some of the players that played today won't start in the Champions League final, but still, to go there, it's right now Chelsea are winning the psychological battle. They beat them in the semi-finals. They've beaten them at their home ground. Going into, at first, it was City favourites. Right now, we're looking at it and we're thinking, oh, crap, Chelsea might be the favourites now. Looking back at it, I think Tuchel's I've got to give him, I think he's a good manager. Because Chelsea have a good squad, and I won't deny Chelsea's squad. But what he's done with them, that's down to the manager, in my opinion. And Tuchel, I've got to rate him. I didn't rate him at first. I didn't rate him under PSG. Or maybe PSG have average players. But he's made the Chelsea side really hard to beat, and I've got to give him his credit because he seems to be. They seem to be rolling right now, and if Chelsea find an elite striker or Timo Werner starts converting the big chances he misses, don't be surprised if we see Chelsea like rubbing shoulders with the likes of City next season and just challenging for the title. I'll throw in United as well, but I'll talk about that later. But if I had to give a prediction right now, I would say I would put my money on Chelsea to win right now. In all honesty, I feel like one, because I don't want City to win. I'm just putting it out there. I don't want them to win as a United fan. I don't even want Chelsea to win. I don't like Chelsea either. But if I had to pick one, it would have to be Chelsea. So, it'll be a massive achievement. Massive achievement for Chelsea and Abramovich and everyone at the side, because that's how you do it. You spend 250 million, you get a good manager, and you reap your rewards. So, that's how you got to do it. But we'll see. We've still got time in the Champions League final, and it should be a good final. I feel like I don't think it'll be a high-scoring game. City can score. Chelsea don't really score that much. I feel like Chelsea will not park up the bus, but be assured in the fence and make it hard for City to break them down, and then they can hit him on the counter with the pace of getting in behind with Werner and the somewhat creativity of Mason Mount. But we shall see. The Man United cruising into Europa League final. It was a weird game. They actually lost 3-2, which is weird. But they were already through from the first leg, really. Cavani seems to be in and amongst the goals, but I feel like we should talk about Arsenal because we all knew United were through anyway. Arsenal lost, for those that don't know and living under a rock. Arsenal's lost. They failed to beat Villarreal, Unai Emery's Villarreal. Let me put that out there. And first of all, we got to give credit to Unai Emery. This is his competition. He's got a disgusting record in Europa League. Obviously, he won 3 in a row with Sevilla, and he's got a disgusting record in the Europa League with, like, I think he's not lost many, like over 50 knockout times or something stupid like that now. Like, this is his competition. So I've got to big up Unai Emery. And I felt like they set up really well against Arsenal, and Arsenal showed no intent. Like, what I don't get managerial-wise as well is that you need a goal, right? Fair enough, Aubameyang's not playing well. You need a goal. You can't take him off. That's your captain. That's your best goal scorer. You cannot take him off to bring on Willian. Someone who's, I don't even think has scored. I think Willian scored 1 goal. I don't think he's even scored for Arsenal yet. It just doesn't make sense, in my opinion. You've got to just throw the kitchen sink and put everyone up there. That's your season on the line. They have nothing to play for in the league. That is your season to get European football. But as I said, Arsenal, you'll now reap the rewards of what you sown with Arteta. Should you still trust the process, Arsenal fans? I said I wanted him out. Well, I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I said he should have been gone time ago. The fact that you lot are still dilly-dallying around 10th. It's disgusting enough as it is. And now, for the first time in 26 years or something like that, no European football for Arsenal. So we'll see whether they decide to trust the process or not. We shall see. But I feel like loads of things need to change at Arsenal from the top to the bottom, because that performance, it was just dire. There was just no passion, no intent, no thinking, this is our season on the line. Let's just throw the kitchen sink and go for it. Let's go gung ho. There was none of that from Arsenal. No intent whatsoever. Like, at least, listen, it's hard to score. I'm not going to say it's easy to score, but at least try. Show that you're trying. Show that it means something. Show that your season's on the line. Throw in everything. But they still didn't do that. But let's get on to the Premier League now. Leicester decided to lose 4-2 at home to Newcastle. Now, I was speaking to a couple of people about this because we need to be a bit wary of Leicester. Their next games are not... They've still got Man United to play, which they play United away on Tuesday. They've still got Chelsea to play as well, and Everton as well. I think it's Chelsea and Everton, which are not easy games for Leicester, especially this Leicester side that have lost stupid... You don't need to lose to Newcastle at home at all, especially 4-2 as well. Like, that's not a great result. And they've got United away. They've got the FA Cup final. Then they've got Chelsea again. Then they've got Tottenham, So if they're not careful, they can see themselves out of this top four. That was a must-win game because Newcastle was your easiest game, and now you've got away to Tottenham, away to Chelsea, and away to United. Or no, home to Tottenham, away to Chelsea, away to United, and an FA Cup final to think about. That is really not good in regards to they've dropped down to fourth now. West Ham are only 5 points behind, but I don't see them beating United. I don't see them beating Chelsea. Maybe they can beat Tottenham. I don't know, but that's them drop. That's 6 points drops right there. So Leicester needs to be careful because we saw this last season with Brendan Rodgers. He was well within the top four all throughout the season, and then at the end of the season decides to capitulate and end up in the Europa League once again. And Leicester are a good side now. I feel like if Leicester don't make the top four, I feel like we might have to stop. I don't want to say question Brendan Rodgers, or you might have to look at it and say, like, what's going on here? Because Leicester have a good side and they keep improving. And they have a very good side. Iheanacho has improved this year. They brought in Wesley Fofana. Their squad is improving. And I know they have injuries. I know some players, people like Harvey Barnes are still out. But for you to be well within the top four and considered, Leicester have a very good squad now. They're not the same Leicester that won the league randomly with like Mahrez and Kante. They're a well-established top six side, in my opinion. And for you to capitulate at the end of the season once again, like we saw this with Project Restart last season, that's how Man United got into third and Chelsea got into the Champions League. So Brendan Rodgers and Leicester need to be careful. I know they got an FA Cup to think about, and that's good. Congratulations getting to the FA Cup final. But top four should be theirs because they were well within third for a long time. It was literally the race for fourth, and now somehow Chelsea are in third, West Ham are creeping up, even Liverpool now, they've got a game in the hand and they're 3 points behind Leicester. So who knows? Who knows when it comes to Leicester? If they're not careful, they can really mess this up. Other people, speaking of the top four race, Spurs are out of the top four race now, in my opinion. They've got 56 points and they're 8 points away from fourth, which with 3 games to go, like it's practically done now. Unfortunately, Bielsa completely outclassed Ryan Mason, but then again, Ryan Mason has had 3-4 games of managerial experience, and Bielsa has been a manager for years. So I wasn't surprised by that result at all. And Leeds are a good side now. I believe they've had a very good season. They've won 15 and lost 15 and drawn 5. Like, they've just been not an average team, but a team that can beat you and a team that can just on their day, they can do you. Do you know what I mean, with Leeds? And you've got to match them physically. And Spurs just look lackluster. Honestly, with Spurs, I don't get it. I don't know what's next for Spurs, in all honesty, because it's funny how like all these managers they were linked with are now Nagelsmann's gone to Bayern Munich, Ten Hag signed the new contract. Brendan Rodgers says he doesn't want the job. Like, everyone's publicly denying this Tottenham job. And I'm not sure whether that's to do with just because Tottenham don't have a bad side, but they have a bit of problems. Can they keep Harry Kane? What's going on at the top? Will they get the money to invest? They clearly need to invest into that squad. I don't know who I can see being in that Tottenham squad In all honesty, people saying, I've heard some rumors saying that if Poch gets sacked by PSG, then Poch might come back. Who knows? I honestly couldn't give you a person I feel like, because maybe you can throw in a Benitez there. I feel like they should be going for someone like Benitez with some Premier League experience, get him back into management. If I had to pick someone, maybe Benitez, but that's just me off the top of my head, because it seems that all these managers that were supposedly linked with Spurs don't want the job. So we'll see with Spurs, because Ryan Mason's not going to get the full job. He was just there to be the caretaker for the end of the season. But we'll see. We'll honestly see with Spurs, because I really don't know what's going on. But also talking about, I forgot to mention with PSG as well, Neymar signed a new contract, which is, if you break it down, it's 2.5 million per month after tax, 625k a week, which is must be nice. Well, we got to look at it this way. Neymar, he's 28, 29 now. That's probably his last big contract, and he's done for the next 4 years at PSG till 2025. So we'll see with PSG. Will he win a Champions League at PSG? He obviously feels like they have the facilities to do that, or he's just doing it for the money. Who knows? But it's a nice contract. I wouldn't mind having that contract. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, PSG is still not a bad side. He can win all the League A's. Well, to be fair, he's only won one League A, which is quite surprising, considering he's been there for quite a while now. But we'll see. We'll see with PSG. Does it show a lack of ambition? I think so. Because I know they were close. They got to a semi-final and they lost. They got to a final last season and they lost, right? They have the means to get to the semi-finals and finals. PSG is still a half-decent team. But it shows where else could he go? Who could pay his contract? Who's going to pay that type of money to PSG? And especially after tax as well, playing in League R, after the French tax is nice, right? Put it that way. You get more money with teams like that. So does it show a lack of ambition? I won't say it shows a massive lack of ambition, because PSG is still not a bad side. It's not like he's going to play in China and he's like, you know what, let me just get my P's and that's it. I'm not going to play football anymore. We can still expect to see Neymar be in whether maybe a Champions League final or a semi-final at least next year or the year after that. And it all depends what they do with Mbappe, if he signs a contract, and how PSG improve. PSG have the means to improve. They will improve. They've seen that clearly their squad isn't good enough. Whether they get rid of their manager, another story. I don't think it shows a lack of ambition. It just shows that he trusts the process, and they've obviously gone to him within the contract. By the way, have 650k a week, but this is the plan. This is what we're going to do. This is who we can try to bring in, because you got to convince the guys to stay, right? No one wants to, unless he just wants to get his money and collect his P's and go. But they've clearly shown something all right, this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to win this time. But we shall see. As I said, Liverpool creeping up into the top 4 race. It's funny how they've just had such an up and down season. And even Klopp came out and said that Champions League is out for us now. But with the likes of Leicester, if Leicester slip up, and if they've got United on Thursday, if they try and get a result there, who knows? They could be well within the top 4 race once again. Thiago got his first goal. Finally, took him long enough. But we'll see with Liverpool. I'm still not fully convinced just yet. Obviously, Southampton have been poor this season, in my opinion. I feel like since they beat Liverpool at the start of the season, or near enough at the start of the season, where my man was crying on the floor, their season just went downhill from there. And I think they've been one of the worst teams in 2021. So I'm not surprised beating Southampton is not really too hard. In regards to Man United now, once again, have to come from behind to win. That's now their record 10th time they've done it this season. As a United fan, it's great. I feel like I want to quickly touch on this. I feel like for the first time in a long time with United, if United used to concede throughout after Ferguson, if United used to concede, that was it. We weren't coming back. It was either a draw. We could even scrape a draw, but it's going to lose that game. But for the first time, I feel like when we concede, we don't panic. We still play our football, and I feel like we're going to win these games. I was watching it with my dad today, and I said, we've been the first half. We've been the better team. They scored a wonder goal. Bertrand's goal was a very good goal. If you want to check it out, I said We've been the better team. If we play our normal game, we're still going to win this game. The goal will come. I literally feel like that's what Ollie just says to the players: like, play your natural game, and it comes. And we've got to give him his credit. I feel like I'm not going to stick my neck. I am going to stick my neck out there. I feel like watching this United team. Honestly, like, we are very close to challenging. We're practically challenging now. Well, it's not really a challenge because City's practically won the title, but I feel like we are a couple signings away. A right winger. I don't think we need. If we keep Cavani, we keep Pogba, it will show United's ambition and say, you know what, this is we're here to try and win. And I was like, you know what, a right winger, maybe Jadon Sancho. We bring him in. A DM. People are saying Declan Rice. I say Tuashmeni from Lille. I would like him, but we shall see. We shall see. I really feel like United are a couple more signings away, and Cavani is now looking like a decent signing. He's in form, scoring a load of goals. Came off the bench once again to score. Jadon Sancho looking in form as well. Apparently, Dortmund have lowered the price because I feel like at the start of the season, we could feel he wasn't starting too well, and everyone thought, okay, yeah, he really wanted to go to United because we all thought that signing was going to happen. And now that Dortmund have apparently dropped the free, that's what United wanted all along. And if we get him a year later, so what? He comes into the side, we have him on the right, Rashford on the left, Cavani through the middle. That will be a really good team. I feel like people will start to fear Man United once again, and don't be surprised if you see them challenging next season. And a quick shout out to Mason Greenwood as well, become United's overtakes Rooney as the top scoring teenager for Man United in the Premier League, which, by the way, just to put that into perspective, I'm not going to say he's going to have the massive same career as Rooney, because Rooney's career was amazing. He won everything to do in football for United, and he's probably one of United's greatest ever players and one of England's greatest ever players. But he's on that trajectory. Stats wise, he's on that trajectory. I'm not going to say he is, because that's putting my neck out there and I cannot predict the future. But looking at Mason Greenwood now, he's just a natural finisher. And it's crazy. The boy is 19. And even Troy Deeney said it on Sky today. He said, outside of Harry Kane, Greenwood's the most natural finisher in the Premier League. And I remember when Ollie said it in a press conference as well. Bear in mind, we have strikers like Cavani. I won't say Rashford's a finisher, but Rashford scores goals. We have Martial, we have Cavani, and they've all said Greenwood's the best finisher at the club. For a 19-year-old at that level, I think it's crazy. You can tell he's a natural finisher. Left foot, right foot, it's going in. And right now he's hit form just in time as the Euro squad has gotten higher from 23 to 26. Don't be surprised if you see him on the plane. Honestly, like, I know he's playing from the right at the moment, and I feel like he might play on the right again. It depends if we get a right winger right now. I feel like his best position is up front. He's going to start playing central soon. He just doesn't have the capacity to play as a central striker or as a lone striker just yet. But as you see, he gets his goals from the right. He can cut in on his left foot, cut in on his right. He will end up as United's centre forward for years to come in the future. Maybe one more season coming off of the right, or even if we get Sancho now, we can start trying to bed him into the middle. Personally, I think if there's 26 people going into Euros, I would definitely take him. I feel like you've got to. He got called up for England before with Foden before they decided to do that madness in Iceland. But you can see he's a talent. For a 19-year-old, he's a very good talent, and the respect he has and the goals he's getting, he's now got 5 in his last 5 Premier League games. He's had this is a bad season for him, and he's still got 10 goals plus 10 goals in all competitions. So I've got to give him there. Personally, give it a year's time, we'll see him as United's number 9, and he'll be getting goals for years to come. And I would take him to the Euros personally. The fact that there's 3 extra spaces, I don't see why we shouldn't take him to the Euros. I would personally have him there in the Euros. But we shall see if I'm not Gareth Southgate. We should see what Gareth Southgate decides to do. Going on to West Ham, Everton. West Ham blew a chance to kind of solidify or keep their top 4 hopes alive. It's still possible. They're still 5 points behind Leicester, but it was really, really it was unfortunate. You had to beat Everton at home, and Everton looked pretty decent as well. Calvert-Lewin got the goal. I expect him to be in the Euro squad as well. And now, the thing is, Everton are not that far away from top four as well, only because they've still got a game in hand. They're 2 points behind Liverpool, and they've still got a game in hand. So they're not far away. I don't think they're going to make it. Personally, I'll probably see them in the Europa League. They're 8th right now. Maybe if Tottenham drops points or whatever. But Everton, they've had a bit of an up and down season. I think their home form has really let them down. And they had some decent wins away, but their home form, losing to Burnley at home and stuff like that, you can't do that if you want to make the top four. So, yeah, unfortunately for West Ham, Lingard hasn't been in the greatest form recently. Obviously, like, he couldn't keep that purple patch forever. But West Ham still have a chance. They're still well within a chance of reaching the Champions League football, and we shall see with their remaining fixtures to go. Arsenal beat West Brom 3-1, relegated the Baggies. Sam Allardyce didn't make the great escape. Arsenal scored some pretty good goals. You know, Smith Rowe on the score sheet. Willian, oh, there you go. Willian scored for Arsenal now. I'm not sure if that's his first one. Maybe his first Premier League goal. I don't know. And Nicolas Pepe scored a complete rocket. And I watched a bit of the game, to be fair, and it made me think, oh, gosh, why couldn't you do that against Villarreal? But let's not let this win paper over the cracks here with Arsenal. I feel like there's still a massive problem at Arsenal. I feel like Arsenal fans will tell you there's a massive problem at Arsenal. But we shall see. We shall see, because at the end of the day, it is what it is in regards to Arsenal, whether they decide to stick with Arteta, whether they decide to pull the plug, start the process again. It's all down to the owners and the cronkies and the top people at the club. But yeah, Arsenal seem pretty decent. Again, it's a West Brom side who are finally relegated, so I did expect them to win this game at the end of the day. And let's just put it this way: if Arsenal don't finish the season strong, we'll see if Arteta is still in the job next season. Maybe I feel like he won't get sacked in the summer. I feel like they'll probably try give him another summer. But if they don't start well, I don't see Arteta to be in the job at the end of the day. I feel like he might go. But we shall see. We've got a lot of weeks, a lot of games coming up this week. You know, FA Cup final coming this week. United have got like 3 games in like 48 hours. It's crazy. So there's going to be a lot of football to talk about next week as well in the next episode. But that's another episode of the Undiluted Football Show. You can follow me on Twitter at Toni Afoke. Subscribe to Undiluted Media's YouTube channel. You're probably watching it on YouTube now. And guys, have a good one. Have a good week. Until next time, people.